This podcast is brought to you by Primary Arms. Primary Arms seeks to provide the best shopping experience for everything firearms. With over 13,000 products from over 400 top brands, Primary Arms carries a complete selection of rifles, handguns, firearms parts, shooting gear, apparel, and more. Every order comes with a commitment to superior service, backed by fast shipping and an expert support team. Primary Arms, serving freedom since 2008. Find out more at frn.deals/PA. Welcome to the AR-15 podcast. This show is for you if you just bought your first rifle or if you've been building them for years. There is something we can all do to take our black rifles to the next level. My name is Nick Dooley, and I am joined, as always, by my co-host, Garth Hofer.
It's me, Luigi.
And Tyler Brockle.
Doctor?
How are we doing tonight, guys?
Oh, not too bad. How about you guys?
Oh, we are living the dream here.
Same.
I'm super excited. We got done with Winter Week today, so now we can just move on to the next crazy thing and adventure of this farming life.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm stoked about that. So yeah, did you guys do anything fun this week?
Oof, no, not me. The only good thing I got going, I got myself a new Whoopee hoodie. Super stoked and comfy. And I'm not going to let my German Shepherd chew this one up. That's my last one.
Fair enough. I got second in the master's class of our local 3-gun.
I seen it. I was there.
Yes.
And then I got second in the PCC handgun division. So it actually shocked the heck out of me because after the first two stages, I knew I was way out of the runnings. I was behind the other guy in our group by 16 seconds. And I came back and, well, I didn't win, but I got second. First loser, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had one of those days where shooting that 3-gun wasn't terrible, but it wasn't, my head was not in the game as much as it should have been.
Mm-hmm.
Like I 100% was just like, hey, I'm just hanging out with my buddies. Let's not like, hey, it's go time.
Yep.
None of that ever even occurred to me.
That happens sometimes. It was a fun shoot still.
Oh, it was. Actually, we shot what might be my new favorite 3-gun stage.
I concur.
And it was not my shoot house, but that was also fun.
That was good. I mean, like I said, they were all great, but yes, take it away on this one.
So we shot the 3-gun standards, and the 3-gun standards is one where trying to find the explanation of it in the rule book online is very hard.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's 3-gun standards, and you type that into the Google machine, and it has like things you need for 3-gun, what to look at in a basic. It's like, no, I want the 3-gun standards like match outline, 3-gun standards classifier, however you want to put it, and you can bang your head against the wall and not find anything.
Mm-hmm.
But what it is Garth, now I'm doing those from memory now, but it's five targets.
Correct. 5 targets were there.
Yep, 5 silhouettes, like stapled up shoulder to shoulder.
Yep.
All in the stance. And there's 2 banks of those. One of them is just for rifle. One of them is just for handgun.
Correct.
And then there is an additional bank of clay targets.
Correct.
It's what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, we use steel, same thing.
Yep,
It works.
We used steel, and we did 8 shots. And I'm not sure if there was supposed to be 8 or 6 on the clays, but everything is done. It's kind of an odd stage because there's no running involved.
Mm-hmm.
It is there's really no movement.
At what, maybe 10 yards?
Well, it's I know that with the steel you have to be over 12,
Yeah.
or you have to be 12, so it was further than that. It was at 25 yards for the rifle,
Yep.
and then it was at 12 or 15 yards for the handgun. But you have a par time, so you have 5 different shooting solutions, and all of them are for 6 seconds each. And then you start, you add time for every round you miss or for all the time you go over. So to run it 100% clean is 30 seconds. And you start with, buzzer goes off and you do 2 into the body of all the rifle targets in 6 seconds. So 10 shots.
Mm-hmm.
Then, all right, reset, get yourself ready. Buzzer goes off and you do 1 shot to the head of each of the rifle targets in 6 seconds.
Yep.
So you're moving right along.
Mm-hmm.
And if you drop out, you gain a half second if you miss the head.
Yeah. Any missed shot was a half second.
Yep. Then you move up to the handgun. And again, it's 15, or well, no, it wasn't. It was more than that because it was 20 rounds for the handgun.
In 2 different stages, I guess. Yeah.
The first one is just 2 rounds anywhere on the body.
Yep.
And it's 10 rounds, 6 seconds, transitioning target to target. And then the next one is 5 rounds, reload, 5 rounds. So one
anywhere on the target as well.
Yep, anywhere on the target as well. And then the last one is, of course, the shotgun, and it's the clays.
Mm-hmm. And, I'm not sure if it's like in the rules that they had to be stacked like that, like they were shoulder to shoulder. I would have preferred them to be spaced out. And I saying that, I know I would have lost a couple more shots because they were stacked shoulder to shoulder. But I would have preferred like at least a 6-inch gap between targets just to make that transition shooting that much more difficult, because at that point you were able to kind of spray and pray and hope that you hit. And I did a few of them. I caught them like in the clavicle or, right on the D-line paper, and it counted, but it was kind of a garbage thought, in my opinion. And again, like I said, I had a couple shots that saved me because of that, but just for target sight and everything like that, I wish we would have spaced the targets out a little bit more. But again, I don't know what the standard is for the USPSA guidelines.
Well, and I believe that's actually like a 3-gun nation state.
Oh, okay.
So, but that was one of the most fun stages I've had in a very long time.
Yeah, we're definitely going to be setting that up and running drills in the future just for good practice. I mean, the whole idea of ripping 5 shots, reloading, and ripping 5 more shots in 6 seconds doesn't sound that awful until you get on the line and actually do it. And I know you and I both passed it, so that was cool. But there was a couple people that, I mean, had some issues with it, and it's not a knock on them, because, like I said, that's when you really think about it, that's 10 shots, 6 seconds. You are moving, and then to get a new mag and reload from your belt, and yeah, a lot of moving parts in a short amount of time.
Yeah, that was Tyler. Have you ever shot a stage like that before?
Not specifically, no. Most of the stuff I like when I design courses, I really like there to be a lot of movement. I think it's part of the, get the heart rate up, get the physicality going.
Yep, this is. I agree, and that's what most of ours are.
Yeah.
This is a classifier.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So, classifier stages, for anyone who's listening and is not accustomed to that term, there are various different levels. They'll D, C, B, A, then master and grandmaster, and expert, and all these as you go through classes of competitive shooting. and they kind of have to have a standard on which to judge everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what the intent is on this. So it's a unique, kind of a unique experience and a unique way to start that, but it really does make you drive that gun.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and we did have a couple stages that were physical, and you had to move. I mean, you've been to our range, Tyler. So that whole front one right in front of the house there, that was spread out. We had targets on either side, and there was movement with cones and running up on steel and stuff like that. So I mean,
I
we did
guess
have those.
I've done classifiers for USPSA, but I've never done it for 3-gun, and predominantly because we're in the local ones here outlaw. So
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, and that's what ours is as well. It's just they decided that, hey, we should do one of these standards to kind of get people used to it.
Mm-hmm.
And it totally wasn't because we were like, hey, we need to come up with another stage quick. But
let me ask you guys a question, right? Because we've done I think a few more shows this year, kind of recapping our competitions and what the courses are like and some of the tactics that we employed. Did you guys over this last shooting season, did you change anything about whether it was gear or optics or tactics or anything along those lines?
I know Garth changed optics.
I did change optics. Yeah.
I was going to bring that up to talk about here in a little bit because you changed to a different prism sight.
I did. I went from the Swamp Fox Blade to the Micro Prism Raider. Yep.
Why? What made you change?
I thought it looked cool. No, I mean that was it. I was like, man, that's a really neat sight. It's a lot smaller than the Blade. I mean, it has the same reticle in it.
Mm.
I just thought
smaller and lighter.
Yeah, smaller, lighter. I thought it looked neat on the gun. That was the basis of my whole change on that.
Mm.
But as far as the other stuff, yeah, the one thing I really try to do better walking through the stages before a shot is planning, not just going out there and shooting targets. Because when you start doing that, you always miss one. There's always one that you forget about or you forget to do because you just go out there and you shoot. And that's what I've always done in the past. And to actually walk through stages this year and plan how I'm going to strategically shoot them, that's a big thing I've been learning, because you can shoot blazing fast all you want, but if you get out there and you don't have a plan and you forget about 3 targets while you're out running and gunning, well, then you've got to come back and you're going to lose time anyway. So it's better to be strategic about the whole thing and take your time a little bit. And so that's one of the big takeaways I've had from this year. But as far as gear or anything like that, I am in the process right now of actually doing some G-code mag pouches and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Nick was yelling at me at the match because I still have my plastic ones, and I needed to upgrade those because it's just nice to be able to stick a SIG MPX mag in them, or a Glock mag, or a SIG P320 mag, and have them all fit universally. So
Right.
Yeah, that is. I will say G-code. I love the G-code Scorpion mags or mag pouches.
mm-hmm.
So they have a pistol mag and a rifle mag holder, and you can stuff the subgun mags in it, and it fits because of how they're a polymer and shot cord, so they stretch to accommodate.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And like the rifle mags, you can put an AR mag, an AK mag, an M14 mag, an AR-10 mag, or like an AICS bolt action mag,
Mm-hmm.
and they all fit in that.
I don't know. I still like the STAC Kiwis just for their same thing. It's kind of a friction retention hold, and it doesn't have all of the drawstrings. Now, I admit you probably give up some of the flexibility that you were just discussing, but for me, I really only put PMags in there, so yeah.
Yeah, I went with the G code a long time ago just for going back and forth. If I wanted to shoot heavy metal,
Yeah. Yep.
then I could run 308 megs. And the only megs that the pistol megs don't really hold in that well are like the 22 handgun, like the single stack,
Yeah.
just because I've yet to find a mag the holder that fits any of those well,
Right.
unless it's like the new SIG 322 or the Glock 44 mags that are actually like real mag sized.
Mm-hmm. I know for me personally, I gravitated away from LPVOs this year to more using my Elcan Spectre 1x4. And I mean, it's still it's a prism optic. You still got the kind of the same, eye relief.
I was
But
just gonna say let's break down this for so a lot of people have never looked through an Elcan probably.
probably.
And this is one where I say that because they're not really prolific in the US.
Yeah.
True.
They they are and they aren't. The was the M134 machine gun optic. You might want to Google that to have to double check me.
Yeah.
Because my numbers might be off. No, it's the M134 minigun, not the machine gun optics. But
Yeah, the Trigicon MGRS.
no, the
No.
no, I'm talking about the. Well, I will Google while I type here.
Well, M134 is the minigun.
Yep, that's where it's. But they also make they make the machine gun optic.
Yeah.
And the M145 is the optic I was thinking of. So for anybody in the military that has been in since the late 90s, you may have seen a a E-clan or an L-can product in the M145. It is that is just a straight fixed power, and it is kind of interesting because it looks like it's backwards when you would go to look through it. And I say that as the objective lens on the side away from the shooter is smaller than like the eyepiece lens. So I will show that because I have a picture of one here. But if you look here, this honeycomb piece is actually the objective lens, and you look through the backside here with this reticle. And they're a ultra durable prism optic, and the Spectre that Tyler is talking about is really kind of unique in that it's two prism optics in one, and that's why it is so expensive. Because it is like on an LPVO where you have 1 to 4 power. You can look at it at 2 or 2.5 or 3 power. With the Spectre, you get 1x or 3x, and that's it.
Yep. And my whole point to that was the reason I did that, it's not so much of a, hey, I just want to use my Elcan more, but I was using a 1x8 Vortex. I had a 1x10 Swamp Fox, Tomahawk or Arrowhead, and most of the stuff we're doing is not going past 150 yards. So I do not need that much weight. So I was getting better scores being lighter and faster. So I'm using last year I was predominantly using a 16-inch AR with a 1x8 Strike Eagle. And this year I ended up switching to an 11.5-inch Sig Spear with an Elcan Spectre. And I mean, at those distances, you're just as accurate. And I felt I could maneuver that gun so much easier because I had shed so much weight,
Do
and
they
and I liked it a lot more.
do they let you do that? Because our Outlaw Club threw a huge fit when I brought a well, it'd be a pistol at the time. Anything under 16, and so they threw a fit when I did it because just like you said, it was the maneuverability.
At
Yep.
any of the standard USPSA or 3-gun matches, they have rules against shooting SBRs.
Sure. Well, either way, right? Like I shed a lot of weight.
Yeah.
Up in that very large LPVO. So that's at the end of the day what I took away from this year was for the particular matches in my local area that worked best for me.
Oh no, 100%. Anything that we shoot doesn't require anything outside of 100 yards, probably.
Most common, yes.
Yeah. So.
Hey, we got Dooley, you want to pull up that comment that just got posted? Want to start with your opinions on that one?
So Matt, are they really good, or are they good at being sponsors? We are not sponsored by them.
We are not. No.
Nope.
In any way, shape, or form. Like we have gotten one optic to demo from them, and Garth is running that one right now. Other than that, I have more Swamp Fox optics than I do anything else.
Yep.
And I paid for all of them with my own monies. I could say that I will put, because I'm going to shoot a long range class tomorrow. Like I'm leaving for it with our friend Craig, and the rifle I'm taking has a Swamp Fox optic on it, and we've gone to the range and compared his Vortex, Razor Gen 3 or Gen 2 to the Swamp Fox Warhawk that I have, and the glass is like the clarity is the same, and he paid that's a $2,000 scope, and mine was a $600 scope.
Yeah. I would honestly put them on par with Vortex optics. They're not an aim point. They're not a Trigicon, right?
Thank God they're not an aim point.
Yeah, no shit, right?
Aim point sucks.
But they're kind of right there in the middle. Vortex, Hollow Sun, Swamp Fox. I have not had a single issue with a Swamp Fox optic. I'm very happy with them. You get a lot of bang for your buck, but they're not necessarily they're above, in my opinion, like a Crimson Trace and some of those.
What's Hex?
Yeah.
Yeah. Some of those entry level optics.
That's the it's not the one that Springfield Armory.
Yeah,
their Dragonfly Hex.
Yep.
Like, man, that thing's weird.
Yeah. By the way, if you're gonna launch a new optic, stop putting the goddamn batteries on the bottom. Like, that's over.
Yeah.
So
that's done. Like,
there's a perfect example of this. A new optic company came out this year. We talked to them. We saw them at GunCon. We've talked to them before. Mike, who is formerly of Primary Arms, who makes excellent optics, also formerly of Swamp Fox, struck out and is the general manager of this brand now, and it is Gideon Optics. And when they came out with theirs, their Gideon Optics all had either top or side load batteries. because they went, oh, hey, this is what people want.
Oh yeah, yeah,
And they also had a closed emitter optic as well.
yeah. I mean, when I start behind the eight ball, it's like electronics companies that are putting brand new electronics and they're putting micro USBs on them. Like, stop that shit. Like,
I just took a stroll over to my safe real quick and counted 7 Swamp Fox optics that are under 5 power.
yep.
I have one 10 times arrowhead right now on one of my ARs, and I'll be the odd man out. I've had a Swamp Fox optics fail, but that was also because it was on my Scar M17, and those tend to beat up scopes, from
Well,
what I've heard.
I've had a Vortex Strike Eagle fail too, right?
Yeah.
So that's, but for your average dude, that those optics are perfectly fine. I
Oh,
just
yeah.
happened to be beating the shit out of mine one day at a 3-day carbine course. And of course, Vortex, stayed behind their no questions asked warranty. Not only did they, they didn't fix my optic, they just sent me a brand new freaking upgraded version of it. So their customer service is phenomenal. Now,
Yeah.
of course, it sucked having that optic go down in the middle of that course that I paid, $800 for. Luckily, I had a second gun with me, but again, I only paid $300-400 for that Strike Eagle and not 1,500.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've had other optics and scopes go down on me as well. And like one of them I've had was the, Nikon doesn't even make rifle scopes anymore.
No, which I'm bummed about because they made some decent scopes. Actually, they really made some great scope rings.
Yep, and before they changed brand, it was their brand had to change because they're like, we're a camera brand, not a tactical brand, and they decided to do that because it was, quote, bad optics, quote, for a camera company to sell rifle optics.
I mean, you do what you're good at. I mean, look at like Yamaha. I think's the coolest example. They're a freaking materials company that made pianos, and then because of that, they started getting into the motorcycle business. You know what I mean? Like,
oh, look at Kawasaki. Kawasaki makes heavy equipment and tractors.
yeah.
Or Daewoo, like if anybody has seen the picture of the rooftop Koreans, like they're shooting Daewoo rifles.
Oh yeah.
Straight up. I just shipped one out for a guy the other day, a Daewoo K2.
Huh. Really?
I haven't heard of them.
Yeah, like it was. So they are an odd version. It's an odd AR variant that was manufactured in South Korea by Daewoo.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it's the same one who makes the economy car. And
yeah,
they that's the world we live in. Those are all possibles.
Yeah. But to Matt just posted another thing basically saying, hey, I've been hearing a lot about him lately, and yeah, Swamp Fox has, they came onto the market, what, Dooley, 4 or 5 years ago?
2019?
Oh, it would have been before that. I'll be honest, the first time I heard about them, I was might have been 18.
Yeah.
Oh, I think you're right. Yeah.
And
point is they're fairly new, right?
Yep.
They haven't been around too long, but
what they first came out with was a red dot.
Yeah.
Because they had 2 different red dots were their first offerings.
But yeah, the neat thing about them, I think they are a very flexible and company that's, they're kind of building what the market wants. They're listening to customers and they're able to flex because they're putting out new stuff like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
We've stopped by their booth at SHOT Show each year, and we've seen them at GunCon. And every time we see them, they've got like at least 2 or 3 very drastically different optics than what they had launched, just a few months prior when we saw them. So they're a pretty neat company, and
You know how good they're getting? I finally typed in Swamp Fox on Google, and it took me right to Swamp Fox Optics. Because you used to have to put the optics in there, otherwise you get taken to some crap site.
you made it when.
So there's a couple things with them where they, well, yes, they made it well. They also make their own accessories. So Matt came through here, and he talked about he'd seen it from other podcasts, and part of it is they are very receptive to, quote, new media, end quote, I think would be the way to word that. So the podcast, and I refuse to call us influencers, but the influencer realm.
I hope we're not.
Yeah, and so they're very responsive to that. But as far as the best scope rings, like I am still a fan of. So I have Warren rings because Warren is just an industry standard. When I'm running this class tomorrow, though, I am running their the Swamp Fox rings that they have, and I can say that I went through and started to lap them where I had, I've got the adjustments for lapping that has, like the 2 pointy sticks that go in, to make everything square and level. And this is one of the, I'm gonna go on and wax poetic here about a machining process or a manufacturing process that I'm sure Tyler has seen as well. But scope rings are actually becoming far easier to manufacture than they used to be. And the reason why they are easier is because of a process called EDM. So EDM, for people who don't know, is you have your 2 pieces of metal there, and you have a wire that gets super hot. Be the way to put it. Wouldn't you say so, Tyler?
Yeah. Yep.
And think of it like a computer numeric controlled filament cutter.
Dude, all I've got is Sandstorm stuck in my head right now. Thanks for EDM.
You'll see them. You'll see EDM done a lot on like triggers and hammers. You'll normally have like a MIM, which is metal injection molding. So most of the stuff like your triggers, your bolt release, hammers, a lot of that stuff is made by MIMing, and then some of the more refined companies will come in and they'll EDM the part where the
texturing or anything like that.
Yeah, they make contact, and it really smooths them out. It really allows you can control tolerances, and it really gives you a lot better feel on your triggers and your hammers.
So I read a very interesting article, a year or 2 ago about a guy who made an EDM kit at home. And I'd want to say this guy might be deceased now. A government killed him, not our own. But he was from Europe and was the pioneer of the FGC9 and was European. And I heard him talking on another podcast. And the FGC9 is the fuck gun control 9. And it was literally like an entirely 3D printed 9mm. And like in the US, we could buy an AR-9 barrel and stick it in it and have it work. But in Europe, receivers are the easy part to get and barrels are the incredibly hard part. Because they said, hey, we want to control the part that, has the pressures.
Yeah.
So he actually took copper wire and wound it inside of a pipe and put it in his bathtub with like a saltwater brine solution and ran power through it and EDM cut rifling into a pipe as like a ghetto EDM for rifling, which was super interesting to me on a, like scholastic level.
Not recommending it at home is what we're saying.
No, it was very interesting to me as like, well, that is cool. I would have this dude's smarter than me. I would have never thought of that.
Yeah. I guess when it comes to scope rings, in my opinion, I like a single piece mount. That's just because when they punch that bore in the machining process to make the ring, it's a single piece. Where if you have two separate scope rings, that's when you really need the lapping, right? Because then you have that tolerance stack up of.
It also depends upon what scope, what type of scope, and what rifle I'm mounting it to.
True. Yeah, so like me personally, like I guess if you want a very specific suggestion, I've liked American Defense Manufacturing, and I like it's a single piece rifle mount. I also like quick disconnect because not that I'm taking it on and off, but if something happens to that optic, i.e., it breaks while I'm using it, I can easily take it off without the use of a tool. And when I'm looking specifically at QD type stuff, I like the ones that aren't necessarily going to. There's a lot of surface contact on that pick rail, and it's not going to mar up my gun, i.e., like one of the drawbacks with the Elcan Spectres is they have ones like when you rotate the throw levers, it's literally a piece of aluminum that's digging into your rail essentially. Whereas like the American Defense Manufacturing one that I'm looking at right now, it's got a continuous, I don't know what you want to call it, Dooley, help me out here, but continuous rail with an over center. So when you push the throw lever, the metal on metal contact is actually on the mount itself. And then all it's doing is pushing against a rail that's clamping on the Picatinny rail. That's probably a really shitty description of it. But
So for anyone watching live,
yeah.
I'll pull this up and do the picture, and then I will try my best to paint a picture with my words. What Tyler is talking about is what is often referred to as a cantilevered mount.
There you go.
And cantilevered means that you have your base, which is holding everything on, and then it has weight suspended in front of it with a balance point somewhere to the forward of center. And as it all hooks in, like you can look here and see with the QDs how they hold everything in, and that's quick detachment, not the Netflix show. And as those clamp in, with having that one larger piece going across, what Tyler's looking for is probably clamping force. And as that goes through, you need less force on the rail because you spread it out farther. So it works as like an order of magnitude being stronger, because if you have a 4 square inch clamping force versus 2 1 square inch, if you put it down with 4 square inches at 8 pounds versus 2 square inches at 10, you're going to have more surface contact and area holding it for friction with the larger clamping force area.
Yep. And then, like I said, that's for more of a like self-defense or battle rifle type application. If I'm doing more of a, coyote gun or long distance type thing, I'll still do that cantilevered with the single piece, but maybe I won't splurge to get the QD mount.
Yep. I generally avoid, I shouldn't say avoid, I do not find the practicality of QD mounts. and that's a me thing.
Mhm.
I have optics that have them, but by and large, I actually right here beside me, I have a red dot that has a big QD on it. But I generally, when I'm mounting scopes, I will almost always go with a bolt-on mount. For an AR style rifle, my favorite is probably the Aero Precision mounts. And I
Mhm.
don't know if you've ever used those, but
I know Burris makes a solid mount as well.
Yeah. And I mean, I think there's a lot of companies out there that, you can't go wrong with. I would just, obviously stay away from ordering the Chinesium off Amazon. So whether you go with Geisley or Arrow or Vortex or any of those mounts, I think are going to be fairly quality. I mean, it's really, when you got a big name company that's backing this with their reputation, it's kind of hard to find one that's really jacked up. So counter that point if you feel that way, but
oh no, it is very important to get a proper or like a company that will stand behind their product.
Yep.
yeah.
One of the other things that I look for, and didn't mean for this to become an optics episode all of a sudden, but how the optic clamps or how the mount clamps around the optic is also important to me.
Mhm.
Yeah, there are ones that'll clamp, top to bottom. There are ones that'll clamp left and right.
Which
Some
do
of
you
them have
prefer?
4 screws. Some of them has 6 screws per
I
post.
hate the 6-screw ones. They drive me nuts.
There's so many screws.
So many screws.
So now one of I already said that one of my favorite here I'll share my screen. One of my the Aero Precision mounts that I've already said that I really enjoy. For anyone watching the podcast live as we stream this, you'll see that it only uses 2 screws per ring, and these are all EDM cut as well, but they have a lip with its think 2 hands clasping together with their fingers out that hooks it in 2 hooks. That hook on the top to make 1 circle
Mhm.
as that goes around, and then they just have the 2 screws that push in. And I have used that mount on several different optics and rifles, and it's one of my favorites. And it's not because it's a super cost-saving one. I mean, it is cheaper than the ADM mount we were just looking at, but it's still over $100.
Yeah. So random thing here. You guys ever watch like a cop show and they're teacupping the pistol, or you watch like a military show and the fucking grenades blow up in a fireball, and it just annoys you,
Yes.
right? That engineering drawing did not have a center mark, and it just drives me nuts when people do that. So if you really want to be super nerdy, yeah.
Yeah, the lack of a set. Well, that could have been just hey, we're going to show you the basis of it. And then you go, there's no center mark.
I know, right? I'm such a fucking internet troll. It's horrible.
Well, then I'm going to zoom in and be like, oh, yeah, there is there. You just can't see it. No, but that is, I understand that. And
Did you guys know that the Swamp Fox Tri-Hawk now has a BDC reticle instead of just an MOA?
And you wonder why people think we're sponsored by Swamp Fox when everything fucking leads back to Swamp Fox.
I know. I'm just saying because I ordered a Tri-Hawk and another Raider just now.
Oh, it's actually been a minute since I bought an optic. I'm actually kind of waiting for the Army to because they're thinking about giving yet another freaking contract to SIG on that.
Oh yeah.
That 1x6 LPVO, and I'm just waiting because if they actually authorize that as a Army accepted optic, I'll probably be purchasing that, because then it can be used for the military shooting competitions.
Well, I can tell you the next thing you should be purchasing. And that's VZ grips, because the unique features of VZ grips is they're machined from a solid block of G10. And G10 is great because it's durable and doesn't get slippery when covered with mud, blood, or sweat. The 17-degree grip angle and wide variety of textures from mild to extreme, along with the color options available, as well as the shorty version if you need to keep it compact. 1911 grips with extreme customizability, standard slim palm swells, thumb notches, safety cuts, bottom profiles, and more. More than 25 textures and 27 colors are available. Coupon code is good for 15% off all handgun and rifle grips, and that code is AR-15 pod. Cast.
Shoot, almost had it.
Way to sneak it in at the end. Good save. Good save.
Yes, my tab got moved. I turned into Ron Burgundy for a second. If you put it on the screen, he'll say it.
I'm Ron Burgundy.
Go fuck yourself, San Diego. Or
Yes,
Frisco.
you
I
will
can't
be
even remember.
saying
It's been so long since I've seen that movie.
What a great
doesn't
movie.
matter. You'll be saying that soon enough. But no, that is okay. Welcome to Optics Talk.
Yeah. What were we on? I can't even remember now.
Well, we started talking about like changing anything up in our 3-gun setups.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. So Garth.
And-
yeah. So I said mine. Garth said his. Dooley, what did you change up, if anything, over the last year, and why?
No.
Good. Thanks for coming. Good night.
No, I ran like I'm still running a
But you changed stuff up.
Not really.
You changed up your PCC.
Oh, I did change my PCC this year. I went to an actual, like, legit, real PCC, my Aero EPC,
With the Evolver grip on it too.
As opposed to what? What's a PCC for non-believers?
The Beretta Storm.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
I see now. I see.
Yeah, I went to one that was actually, like competitive.
Yeah.
Not one where I stayed in the fight, and it was one of those like when I finished in the top 3 running PCC before I switched to an AR style. It was one of those like, man, did all right, and I'm like, yeah, because that one was all me.
Didn't run your Monco 9?
No, we so our club gets kind of they get kind of finicky about running anything short.
You could, because there's a couple guys who just get away with it because they live so far away. They're like, well, this is what I brought, so
yeah, so I never ran I did not run that one at all, just because I ran drills with it. I did everything else with it. Although there you go. There is one thing I got this year that is amazing, and I love it.
what's that?
And that's my new sonic cleaner.
Oh yeah, both you guys got sonic cleaners now. I need to
What
get
brand you get?
Pure Chinesium iSonics. If you
Fuck, if it gets the carbon off.
well, I will pull up a picture of it, and you will understand why I say pure Chinesium.
Does it look like a deep fat fryer?
No,
Yes.
no, it does not.
I feel like I'm getting mixed messages.
It looks surprisingly almost identical to the Hornady.
Oh, really?
Like, the only thing they changed was the color of the plastic
Huh.
for the Hornady hot tub.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's what I have. And again, the only reason I really went with that one was just because I could fit a full 16-inch upper assembly in it. And I'll tell you what, it's the nicest damn thing ever.
Right here.
Oh, it does. It looks exactly like it.
It 100% is. It's.
Oh yeah. Oh, those parts. Yeah, that's totally a ripoff. They're using the same fucking injection mold tools and everything over there.
Yep, and that is at Amazon it was $500.
Oh well, shit. That's what I paid for my Hornady.
Yeah, well, buy a Hornady now, and they're $700.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's $200 cheaper than the Hornady.
Yeah. Man, I remember when those things came out and they were running like specials for like $350.
And I should have bought 5 of them.
I know. I'm in the same boat. Like I ended up paying, like I said, 5, maybe a little over 500 for mine. Yeah. But totally worth it. Totally.
If you can find a Hornady hot tub, you will pay for it.
Oh, really? They're that hard to come by these days?
Yes.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, you can find the smaller ones for brass, but the Hornady hot tub is almost impossible.
Yeah.
And they're all like $700 and up.
Huh, really?
Yeah. So I picked up that Amazon branded one, and I dumped the I took it apart and I dumped my Montgo 9 upper in it.
Yeah.
And when I took it apart to put everything in there, I may have had to use a hammer to get some parts to come out. And there was a solid 1/8 inch of carbon sticking out from places. Like the hammer had a stalactite of carbon.
Oh, yeah.
And I ran everything through and then just wiped it off and re-oiled it. And I was like, oh, wow, this has shiny spots now.
Yeah.
Because it had spots where it actually wore. Because as our listeners who listened to the Manicore Arms episode learned, it completely quit working at 5,000 rounds.
Yep.
And now it is up and running again.
Yeah. The thing was
God.
put through the ringer. I want to talk about guys who we are not sponsored by. I don't know how many guns Nick has possibly sold for them because he just pulls it out every time we're at the range.
Yeah, I mean, it'll probably come out this weekend.
Oh, 100% it better.
Yep. Which, that's, I'll be excited to give a report on that next week, actually.
It'll be a good time.
I am bringing an AR to that course as well.
Nice.
So.
Which one?
Yes. But.
Fair.
Remember, there's a range trailer now.
Yes, there is. But we're not dragging the trailer with.
No?
Nope. Not dragging the trailer with. Oh, also, I have to send you the latest updates on just my personal pickup. Tyler, I'm going to send you a picture about just because I've done some upgrades to it, which we might be talking about soon with the off-road podcast.
You bet. We need to talk to those boys again.
Because they want to talk to us about truck guns.
Truck guns.
So many
truck guns. All right, so I got that sent off. But when we're going down to this, I am taking my... Well, it's actually a rifle you have taken before, Tyler. My kind of coyote long range setup.
Yep. With the thermal?
No, I'm not taking the thermal on or the night vision on it.
Right, same gun, right?
Yep,
the one
the
that had the
gun.
thermal on it. Okay.
I put that primary. I put a scope from Primary Arms on it.
Yeah.
And it's a first focal plane 3 to 18.
Oh, nice.
And we won't go to a mile with that one, but we might see if we can get some 68 grain hits at 1,000.
Nice.
Very cool.
And stretch that out a little bit. Other than that, I will be shooting a 6.5 Creedmoor bolt gun because I haven't built my 6.5 Creedmoor AR yet.
Hey, are we still doing the giveaway for the FRN stuff?
Yes, we are.
Well, then we better talk about Patriot Patch. PatriotPatch.co, guys. Check out Patriot Patch for all your morale patch needs, all your cleaning pad and mouse pads needs, as well as tins and stickers. They have it all. Check out Patriot Patch, patriotpatch.co.
Yep. And, I hate to say this, but I think tonight everybody listening
Has got one?
Has received one. And Thomas, you are incorrect. It is not a 1919. You're just wrong. Because if you're gonna rock a belt fed, rock the right one. It's the Ma Deuce.
Ma Deuce.
So, guys, do we got anything else that we start talking about tonight?
No,
we rambled down to a weird optics rabbit hole.
Yeah.
that was fun though. Like
Yeah, I felt there was informative, need to know shit that came out of that.
exactly.
There was. I got to talk about EDM and stuff like that
In your college days.
Yeah, I didn't bring up my college days.
Back when you did the EDM rave parties. Or
Yeah,
darts.
boots and pants and boots and pants and boots and pants and boots and pants and.
I was gonna say we didn't call it EDM in my day. We called it techno.
It's still EDM. Whatever. It's fun.
But that was back when it was like the Blade soundtrack was what everyone had.
Was Sandstorm on the Blade soundtrack?
I don't know.
I can't remember. It was on a lot of stuff.
I don't know, but I do know this. I know that January marked the third time a power station in North Carolina was damaged by gunfire recently. And authorities are saying this attack raises a new level of threat. Authorities are now checking our grid for vulnerabilities, and they've identified 9 key substations. If these substations are attacked, the power could be knocked out from coast to coast for up to 18 months. Imagine a blackout lasting not days, but weeks or months. Your life could be frozen in time right at the moment the power fails. Lights all over the country would go out, throwing people into total darkness. And that's why having your own solar power is more important than ever. With the new Patriot Power Generator 2000X, you get a solar generator that doesn't install at your house because it's portable. You can even take it with you and even use it inside. It's powerful enough to power your phones, medical devices, and even your fridge. And right now, you can go to 4patriots.com and use code FRN to get 10% off your first purchase in anything in the store. You also get their famous guarantee for an entire year after your order, plus free shipping on all orders over $97. Just go to 4patriots.com and use code FRN for 10% off. That's the number 4patriots.com and use code FRN to get yours today. That was a segue.
You bet. I'll stop that.
So you're going to get us kicked off YouTube.
Oh, there was like 5 seconds. We'll be fine. But when we reach out to the Hulkster someday and get Real American as our new theme song, then we'll be doing something.
I mean, that totally hasn't happened already.
No.
I am a real American. So, what else do we have coming up here that you guys are looking forward to?
Well, it's our last 3-gun match of the year this weekend, but it's supposed to rain the entire time, so I'm just trying to figure out how badass I want to feel. We'll see.
So what is the theme for this week's 3-gun?
Oh, so this one's interesting. So, no theme. Well, kind of a theme. So instead of it being like a traditional, you add up, you go through each bay or each course of fire and then add up your total time. This is a head to head double elimination bracket type competition. And so each bay is mirrored, right? You have the same targets on the left as you do on the right.
Mm-hmm.
And two people are actually going at the same time. And so, like, to give you an example, last year started in the middle, the buzzer went off, both competitors sprinted to the outside of the range, about 25 yards, grabbed their AR out of a barrel, had to clear a 6-target dueling tree. AR goes back in the barrel, pull out your shotgun. They had a series of about 10 targets with clays, or maybe a little bit more, maybe it was 12. So you were forced to do at least a reload with the shotgun, and then after that, a whole bunch of steel knockovers with your pistol, and then finally, they have this dual target that, when struck, the targets are kind of at an angle, so they'll fall over top of each other. So the winner is the target that's obviously on the bottom, because that one, it means that one was hit first. And so you could just smoke your competition, and if you accidentally shoot his target at them, you automatically lose. But yeah, it's something I've never seen before. There's just a guy at this particular club that thought it up, and it's really, really fun. It's something that I just haven't done before. The double elimination bracket thing.
That
Nice.
does sound like a good time.
We should do that. That'd be fun.
It'll be fun. What about yourselves?
Oh, I already talked about my aforementioned long range class. I am looking forward to get out to a mile.
Are you guys? I can't remember. Are you guys planning to hit up Rocky Mountain Range Day?
Yes.
I'm not. I can't.
Yep. When
Yes.
is that coming up?
That will be the 19th of October.
19th of October. Okay, yeah. So we're all, I guess, the Dooley's heading out to, is it Colorado Springs again this year?
Yep, we'll be headed there, and I have a little bit of hilarity with that story that I'll tell you off air.
Okay.
For that trip, because of the life I lead and how my plans change on an instant of going like, oh yeah, hey, I just booked plane tickets. All right, well, I guess it looks like I'm driving.
Yeah. How it goes.
Yep. So, nope, that's what we have. Guys, you got anything else to add?
Nope. I appreciate everybody who submitted questions tonight. We were supposed to have a guest, and we kind of went down a different rabbit hole, and
our guest did get a hold of me during this. He had some things come up with children.
Yeah,
and
Understandable.
happens. We're flexible, and we're glad that we can answer questions for you guys, and you guys
definitely have them. We'll definitely be having them on again, though.
Yeah.
It's like, trust me, I know how it goes with kids. And so as those things go through, we will we'll keep pushing forward and shall endeavor to pursue this life that we live. And guys, any final words and statements?
Negative.
No, I'm down.
All right. Well, you guys, I think we should do another listener question show soon.
We should.
Agreed.
So how about you guys start sending in listener questions? I will try my best to not just reply with an instant answer. Or I mean, I may have done that before.
and that would be send them to AR-15 podcast 2.0 at gmail.com.
Correct.
Yes.
So let's get that going, and let's do a full listener question show. So if you just want to find out anything like what is direct impingement, who has a short stroke piston and who has a long stroke piston,
Where do babies come from?
I mean, Tyler will gladly answer that.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, we should pass that on to Garth.
Yeah, that'll be great.
He's the only one who hasn't knocked somebody up.
Yeah, he's
Correct.
the one who doesn't have babies.
No, none. That's why I get to have all the toys.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's sad.
says the man over here with a platypus.
Love the platypus.
Yeah, oh, that's something you changed this year. You changed your sidearm for a 3-gun like 5 times.
At least 5 times. I shot revolver. That was weird.
Felt wrong.
He shot revolver, then he shot, it's like, oh, hey, I'm going to shoot this platypus. And I believe you'd keep shooting the platypus if you had a holster for it.
If I had a holster for it, I would shoot the platypus year round.
Do they not?
Yeah,
do they not make one for it?
No, I just haven't bought one because I'm lazy.
Yeah.
I don't know. I need to find a 2011 holster with a rail.
Yeah.
So this poor bastard, instead of shooting, his 2011 with the shoots Glock mags, he had to slum it with the X5 Legion.
Yeah, it was awful.
Like, I feel your pain though, because now, like, I can't just buy a new pistol because you're buying a new pistol and an optic and a light and a holster. Like, your once like $600 to $800 pistol has now become a $2,000 purchase because now I appreciate having all the,
accoutrement.
The gun alone was $1,800, so we're probably
right.
Yeah, we're higher up there than that. But hey, it's
for
worth
those
it.
of us who live in the slums and spend $100 on pistols.
I maybe have decided I'm not giving up on Beretta yet.
Well, I mean, if you want to slum it out, you can definitely go get one of those North Carolina high points.
Mhm.
They're fantastic. I have 4 of those.
The daggers.
Yes.
Oh, no, the boat has not left the Beretta garage yet. We might be coming back to that next year.
Fair.
I haven't decided, but well, that is enough. And Matt and I with the Swamp Fox optic. There you go. Like that combination fucks with the lights on, guys. But well, I have nothing else at the moment.
Nah.
Guys, do you have anything?
No, we're good now, man.
Pull the plug before we ramble some more.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you folks out there, you stay safe and stay armed. Support the people who support the show. Primary Arms, VZ Grips, 4Patriots.com, and Patriot Patch Company. Be sure to check us out on social media. AR-15 Podcast 2.0 on Instagram. AR-15 Podcast 2.0 on YouTube. AR-15 Podcast 2 on Twitter. AR-15 Podcast on Facebook and wherever podcasts are found. If you just want to drop us a line, let us know how we're doing, or give us a show idea, make sure to send that email to AR-15podcast 2.0 @gmail.com.